Welcome to Voodoo Whiskey Gaming, and this is my late review of Kingdom Hearts 3. I played it on the PS4, it's also available on the Xbox One. The story begins with Sora needing to recover his power of waking, and that is kind of his main quest throughout the game. But one cool thing they do is that they tie in all the other characters throughout the game. Riku is on a quest to find Aqua, Mickey is helping him, Kairi and Axel are now training as Keyblade Masters. They bring everything together. Of course, all of them are trying to do this so that they can grow stronger and battle Master Xehanort, who is trying to summon Kingdom Hearts for evil purposes. One thing I really want to address, though, is the fact that they do such a good job of tying it all back together. Because while Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2, those are pretty straightforward, there's all the spin-offs of Birth by Sleep and like 358 by 2 Days, Chain of Memories. All of those added their own little things and had their own little stories that somehow tied into it, but didn't necessarily tie directly into Kingdom Hearts 1 or 2. So for Kingdom Hearts 3 to bring that all back together as well as it did, that was really impressive to me. Once again, Sora is traveling from world to world, each one is Disney themed, and he's trying to gain the power of waking, he's making new friends along the way, and each of those worlds has their own unique story, and it's really interesting and really well done. Just overall, the entire story itself impressed me. As for the audio, let's start with the music and sound effects. They are absolutely fantastic. Once again, Kingdom Hearts just has amazing music. And again, they go so in depth with the sound effects. Each Keyblade has its own unique sound effects. All the magic, all the hits, all the creatures, it all just sounds really good. Then there's the voice acting, which was heavily affected by the huge gap since the last real game was released. Certain actors have died since then, specifically Christopher Lee and Leonard Nimoy. Also, there are certain voice actors who didn't come back, so certain characters do not have the same voices. Kairi really stood out for me. Although the weirdest situation of all of that has to be in the Caribbean when it's the Pirates of the Caribbean world, because all of the characters look like the actors. It looks like Orlando Bloom, it looks like Keira Knightley, it looks like Johnny Depp. It does not sound like any of them. It's all people like doing their best impersonation of Keira Knightley or Orlando Bloom or Jack Sparrow, you know? It's just weird and it doesn't quite work. But that being said, the quality of the voiceover work is excellent. There were a few times where certain voice actors could have tried a little bit harder, but overall, with how many characters are in this game, it sounds wonderful. While there are some of the levels that have songs like Let It Go, you don't have to do the shit from Atlantica like in Kingdom Hearts 2. Okay, so onto the gameplay. It is still very much an action RPG. The core gameplay of like the combat really hasn't changed much from the original, except for that it's gotten so much smoother and it just works so much better. You still travel from world to world, you still level up, you still get new Keyblades. And I do like the Keyblade system in this game. I think it's probably the best one they've had, because each Keyblade has its own form that you can unlock by doing combos with the Keyblade and making it a more powerful form, and some even have another form beyond that. Others just have more powerful finishing moves. It's really interesting way of going about it. You can also upgrade your Keyblades using synthesis materials, and while it's cool that that will make your Keyblade more powerful, I think they really missed out on something that would have been absolutely awesome, and that could be that it would change the appearance of the Keyblade as you upgrade it, but they didn't do that. And to put it simply, there are just so many additions to this game that I can't even begin to dive into all of them. I could spend probably 20 minutes going on about each addition. There's the Gummy Phone, which now gives you all sorts of mini games you can play. There's a photo game, because your Gummy Phone can take pictures now. And then each world has its own new mechanic that it adds, its own unique gameplay mechanic. Each hero that you pair up with has an ability that you team up with them on. It's just insane, it's intense how much they added to this game. And the thing is, while some of it doesn't feel necessary, it also doesn't detract from it, which is impressive to me. One other thing I want to go into is the worlds now are just huge. Each level is so much bigger than anything in any of the previous games. I mean, the first world you go to is Olympus, and Thebes alone, yes, there's an area of Thebes, and it is so big that I honestly think it might be bigger than all the worlds combined in Kingdom Hearts 1. I don't know, but it felt that way. So I've got 3 complaints and none of them are huge. First off, I honestly found the game to be very easy. It only took me about 30 hours, and that's because for the first time ever, I didn't have to do any grinding to beat the final boss. So it felt a little short, but that was probably due to the fact that it was so easy. That being said, the fact that it felt so short wasn't a terrible thing because it was a very well-told experience. It all came together so well, and it's one of those things, I'd rather it feel great and be a little short than feel like it's being dragged out. Also, I gotta say, my 2 favorite worlds were not in it. You do not go to Radiant Gardens, which was formerly Hollow Bastion, and there's no Halloween Town. That bums me out. You may notice the shirt. And my last complaint would be that there's no arena in this game. There are what they call battle gates, which you travel around to the different worlds and find these little portals that will take you to a zone where you basically fight in an arena, but it's not like the arenas of old where you slowly progressed up and you beat a final boss, you know. But overall, I think they did a great job of evolving. This is what a sequel should be. They've added content. They've taken away stuff that was unnecessary. I've got to say, even the gummy ships, for a change, I actually enjoyed and found myself really trying in some of the gummy ship sections, which up until now I've always felt were very unnecessary. I guess I do have one other complaint with the gameplay, and it did screw me a couple of times, but never so badly that I just was infuriated. So you have your team ups, you have not the reaction abilities, but similar things, as well as when you transform, and those are all mapped to the triangle button on the PlayStation. And the problem is they queue up, and there may be one that you specifically want, but you can't get it until you've triggered the other 2, and you may lose the one you actually want because they're all on a timer. So that did screw me occasionally in combat, but really it wasn't horrible. Next up, the controls. What do I have to say about the controls? They work so well. My biggest complaint with the controls would be that while I was gliding, when you finally get that ability, was that it seems really touchy unless you're pressing forward on the thumbstick, which is just silly because holding the glide button already propels you forward. Then lastly, there are the visuals. To put it simply, this is an amazing looking game. The times when they're trying to be very realistic, like in the Pirates of the Caribbean world, they succeed. And in the times when they're trying to be super cartoony, like when you go and visit Winnie the Pooh or when you're in Arendelle, the land of Frozen, it looks much more cartoony, and it works. It works so well. There are so many small details graphically in this game, it's just astounding. Going back and revisiting Twilight Town and the way it now looks is just mind-blowing. It looks so good. Everything in this game just wowed me visually. Okay, so to wrap this up, to put it simply, Kingdom Hearts 3, 100% worth the wait. Everything about it I really just loved. I was truly blown away with. So obviously I'm fully recommending this game. Okay, so in the comments below, why don't you tell me if you played Kingdom Hearts 3 and if you think it was worth the wait. And as always, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please hit that like button. And if you like what I'm doing in general, share, subscribe. Have a good one.